Welcome to the Unpressed Podcast, our weekly virtual cocktail hour between two old friends on opposite coasts. I'm Jenny, a single mom living in Silicon Valley in the land of tech bros, venture capital, and questionable wellness trends.
And I'm Talbot, gay, married, living on the East Coast, dividing my time between New York chaos and Palm Beach drama.
We've survived marriages, divorces, bad highlights, worse decisions, and somehow we're still laughing.
Mostly to keep from crying. So every week we pour a drink and unpack whatever life, love, or our aging bodies have thrown at us lately.
No filters, no pretending to have it all together.
Just two friends, a little too honest and completely unpressed. Hey, Jenny, how are you? Good to see you.
Hi, Talbot.
It's bit.
It's good to see you and hear you.
Yeah, we're doing something a little bit different because we're actually recording in the morning. So we're doing our coffee break and not our cocktail break this morning.
Yes.
But, that also goes with what the F is going on because you can't always stay up late enough to actually do a recording.
Yeah, well, I have my coffee. I'm sort of ready to go. And I'm excited about what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Well, we have been promising this topic for a little bit. So the topic is, do you want to reveal it?
No, you should.
Okay.
Please do the honors.
The topic, as a follow-up to our last one, is plastic surgery.
Yes.
Because you
indeed.
get to a point in your life where you say, should I or shouldn't I? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's more for me, what the hell is going on in society with plastic surgery? Because people, to me, look like cartoons. They look crazy.
Yeah. Well, we got two big trends going on, right? First, we've got the whole, we're doing it right now, this whole Zoom social media thing. We're looking at ourselves more frequently than we ever did because we're sitting in meetings.
Way too much.
And we're looking at our faces, right? And we're
I'm super tired of looking at my face when I edit our videos. I'll tell you that.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, look, there's a little bag there. So I think that's part of it is we're spending much more time looking at ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're that is now how people are seeing us. And we're thinking, oh, this is how I'm coming across. So that I think that's part of it. And obviously social media, because we're taking pictures and documenting everything. And obviously social
and
media.
everything is a selfie.
Yes.
I don't know so much with our generation, but certainly the generations who are younger than us, they go on vacation and every photo, it's there in the photo. So you definitely are seeing yourself a lot.
Right. And if you don't have a really good filter on your phone, those selfies can be terrifying.
I don't know how to filter. Will you teach me? Because I just don't put myself in my vacation photos. That's what I do.
I have a good friend. I actually had dinner with her last night. A lovely friend, long-standing friend, not old friend.
Yeah, I was going to say, hang on a sec. This poor person is like, what?
I don't know what filter she uses, but every time I see her, we take a selfie of the two of us. And I swear I look like, well, she always looks gorgeous. I look like a Hollywood movie star. So I don't know. I need to find out because you don't need.
Please find out.
With that filter, you do not need plastic surgery, but you can't go through life.
Is that a filter you apply after you take the photo?
Yeah. I think it gets applied automatically.
Oh.
When you take.
All right. Okay. I'm motivated to find out what that is.
Yeah. But
when you do, I think we should tell everybody who's listening.
Oh, we should. So I think that's one big trend. But then, this whole thing right now have you heard of this trend called Mar-a-Lago face?
No, but I think that sounds hilarious. Yeah, I could almost guess what it is.
Yeah. So it's, these overly filled cheeks and lips and heavy makeup and using makeup to contour and all this stuff. And it's because,
it's the women who work for Trump, right? Basically, and his wife.
Or who are in their social circle. And apparently if you go, and I have never been to Mar-a-Lago, even though I can see it from our apartment, I'm never going to go. Doesn't matter. But apparently that's all you see. And it's like, you think of these people like Kristi Noem and Kim Guilfoyle. They are the epitome of Mar-a-Lago
I'm
face.
so bummed to have to see her when I'm waiting in line at customs.
Oh, it's terrible. It's
That
terrible.
bums me out. I was
It's
like,
terrible.
"You're in charge of security?
And you look like a
Like,
Barbie doll. Yeah.
you've been in makeup for 4 hours. You really
Right.
missed part of your workday."
Right. And it's
And the hair extensions, Talbot.
yes, the hair extension.
And by the way, these are all signs of youth, like shiny long hair, white teeth, eyes popping, so they do like white eyeliner, and but it's so exaggerated, it's like a cartoon version of a young woman.
I was reading an interesting article that said it is radical feminization, almost to a fault. Like these women are trying
Mm.
to portray what they think the ideal woman looks like
Oh, I
because,
see, yeah.
you know, in the Trump world, they're trying to get approval of the cult leader, right? So, and they
Oh,
think this is what he
God.
responds to. So it's kind of scary.
And he
But
does, he wants his women to look like that, and that's who he hires.
exactly, exactly. Well, and
Yeah,
it's
it's a
not only
lot of filler. It's a lot of filler, lips, cheeks, um, and chin implants,
yeah,
right? Everything's very exaggerated.
right. Well, and the guys are doing it too. Look at Matt Getz. Like Matt Getz is the
Oh,
biggest
yeah.
offender, and it's just it's so scary because these people have now gone beyond espousing a philosophical ideal, which is completely bizarre in my mind.
Mhm.
But now they're espousing a physical ideal, which is not based in any reality. It's kind of a little
Yeah.
scary. But anyway,
Yeah,
we
and
won't do that. We won't.
no, and I heard there's a little bit of a backlash in, plastic surgery trends,
Yeah,
that things are going natural again.
that's
I
what
will believe it when I see it because I feel like everywhere I go, I'm seeing still seeing these huge lips and these big cheeks and the cat eye because the facelift has pulled them up so much. And I think the danger in that is if you see that over and over and over again, and you're like a 16-year-old girl, let's say, then you start to think that that is normal, right?
right.
And so when you actually see a natural face, it doesn't look right. Um, I just think it distorts I think it just distorts for young girls what they're supposed to look like. And then all these rumors that you're supposed to start your plastic surgery when you're 30. You're supposed to start your facelifts and your
I thought it was just supposed to start your Botox and your filler early.
Yeah, I've heard that before, this idea, like, if you don't start early, then you won't be able to get rid of the wrinkles,
Right.
and I confirmed with a dermatologist that is untrue.
Oh, good
That
to
is
know.
that is not true.
Oh,
It
good to know.
might take a little bit more Botox when you're ready to go, but that is completely untrue.
So, have you ever done Botox
Yes, I have done Botox.
in your
Uh-huh,
forehead? Yeah.
uh-huh. Forehead and the 11s. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Huh.
Yes.
What was that experience like?
It's not pleasant, I will tell you. I mean, they're sticking a needle in your head.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so, you wanna go to somebody reputable, and I will tell you a side effect of this is that I have fewer headaches.
I've heard about that. Actually, that Botox can help with chronic headaches. It can also help if you're a heavy sweater. They'll put Botox under your arms to,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
mine is I think I was, like, like, frowning or scrunching or something and causing tension
oh,
in my
interesting.
head, so, and I notice, it wears off, and I get some headaches, and I'm like, "Oh, that's so interesting."
That is interesting. Huh.
Mhm.
I haven't done Botox. I did filler once. I did filler like where you said on the 11s right
Yeah.
here. And I
Yeah.
also had filler done on the marionette lines. That's what they call these, around your face.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
down,
yeah, yeah.
from your nose down to your mouth and past your
Yeah,
lips.
how was that experience?
It was fine. I actually really liked it because I was kind of weirded out by the notion of putting botulism in my face, but I mean, again, and here I'm putting like plastic filler in my face, so I guess that's really not,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
sort of
but
similar.
it's kind of similar. But it actually worked for me for a very long time. Like they said, it'll stick around for 3 months, and I actually it was good for like 6
Longer.
months. Um, but it's just one of those things. I've got so many other things in life to think about, like
Yeah.
that you have to schedule and be on top of. That I was like, just putting in another thing that has to be done every 3 to 6 months was. I just couldn't figure that out. I'm too tired. I'm too
Yeah.
lazy. But I did like that. I didn't. Yeah. Somehow I felt a little bit better about that. The other thing that I was reading about that's very much on trend right now is liposuction and skin removal surgeries because everybody's on these GLPs.
Everyone's losing
So
weight.
so everybody's losing
Yeah.
weight. And we talked a little bit about this with the turkey waddleneck because people are losing weight in their face and their skin is sagging around their neck. Also said the younger you are, the more elastic your skin is. So
Right.
if you're older
Right.
and you're going on a GLP-1, it takes a longer time for your skin to pull back if it can.
Yes.
Yeah. We were in France one year and we went to some store and I got sucked into this like here is this bet like the most incredible facial cream. It'll turn your clock back. And it was something like snail
Yeah.
poop or something like that. I can't remember
Yeah,
exactly
that
what it was.
trail off of the
Yeah,
snail.
something
Yeah.
really weird that they had decided that they should put in a little pot and sell to stupid people like me. But I was like, sure, snail slime. That sounds probably got a lot of collagen in it
It's very tempting when somebody offers a solution
in a bottle.
in a bottle. And let's talk for a sec about why we care about looking young versus the signs that we're aging.
Well, I haven't done a lot of research on this, but I would bet that it goes back to the survival of the species
Yeah.
because I think that you always, whether you were the male or the female, right? You always think about like peacocks. They always want to be the biggest and the brightest and the boldest because it signals vitality and ability to pass on genes and all of that.
Virility. Yeah.
Virility.
Mhm.
That's the
Yeah.
word I was looking for.
Yeah.
So I imagine that there's some hangover from that from way
Yeah.
back when we were cavemen and you were trying to decide which of the four men were you gonna, have father your child. Did you want
Yes.
the old decrepit guy who was bent over in an S shape, who, was missing teeth and was white haired, or did you want the young buck? So I think
Yeah.
there's
Yep.
probably some of that that's still just a residual hangover for us is that we want to be seen as virile and still able to be successful and still be able to be picked for the A team, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I think that's part of it. But there's also this fear of our own mortality and
Yeah.
the belief that we can try and put that on hold. Um, but it's interesting because if you look at, I think the first time I really remembered my grandparents as adults, they had turned 50. Um,
Remember when 50 was so old?
but that's what I'm saying.
I remember my mom at her 40th birthday, all of the cake and everything was over the hill theme at 40.
Well, but I remember looking at these pictures and they looked old. They looked old.
Yeah.
They didn't, and I think there's just been a difference in the way we've approached nutrition and fitness, and as you talked about before, there's a lot of mental. You don't think of yourself as old because that's the thing that will age you the most.
Correct.
So I
Yeah.
think there's just been a big push forward for us all understanding that a lot of our ability to maintain who we are
Mm.
comes from things like fitness and nutrition and things that we can do and
And
sense
sunscreen.
and sunscreen, right? But I think if you look at who we look at, if I don't think that we look at 56, 57 the way my grandparents did at 50, right? I think
Yeah,
we
I
look
think
much
that's
younger.
fair.
Um,
Sometimes it's just the dated hairdos that really get you. Have you seen the memes of the Golden Girls and they put current hairstyles on them?
oh, no. I'll have to look it up.
I was trying to find a good one to send you. I knew you'd appreciate it, and they look a lot younger, let me put it that way. It's those old lady hairdos.
Well, right. They had the old lady hairdos. I mean, there's still those old lady hairdos exist now.
And
Uh,
those gals are supposed to be, like, around between 50 and 55 in that show.
I know
It's
we are
so
now younger
sad.
than the Golden Girls
Yes.
were.
I know, we gotta get going. We gotta start looking at properties
Oh, I know,
for
I know.
our houses. Um, yeah, I think you're right about the virility piece, and for sure, women, have gotten the short end of that stick, I think, mainly because men's virility, their ability to have children lasts a lot longer into life, and there's an association of age with prosperity a little bit with
Yes,
men. So women tend to choose older men choose younger women.
right,
And, they're trying to get women who can make the babies. And so it's right about the sweet spot of 18, the look of an 18-year-old girl. And men love the way 18-year-old girls look. And by the way, when boys are like 14, they also prefer 18-year-olds.
right,
So it's interesting. Like it doesn't mean younger. It means like there's this very specific age where you're like, well, that woman's probably going to be able to carry a baby for me.
right, or 3 or
Um,
4 or 5, right, right,
yeah, or yeah, exactly. Back in
right,
the day,
right,
10 to
right,
15. Um, and so all the things that come with that, and women my age will often say they feel invisible. They feel like nobody notices them. They don't really, their kids go away to college and they don't have a role anymore. And they feel like nobody's checking them out. No one's giving them a cat call
right,
as they
right,
walk down the street.
right,
Someone told me that the other day and I was like, yeah, that's so interesting.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but I'm not sure doing plastic surgery solves that problem. I think I don't know.
No, it doesn't solve that problem, but I would they now have this thing called Brotox, right? Because
Yeah, Botox.
because these
Just to
guys
masculinize Botox, by the
yeah,
way.
because they're worried about guys are worried about their forehead lines and their frown lines and their crow's feet. And again, I don't know where that comes from because it's also guys have always been able to be distinguished in elderly age and
Correct.
women have not.
Yeah,
Um,
men have had a much they can age and people still say, "Oh, he's attractive. I love his salt and pepper hair."
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we're starting to see more and more of this body dysmorphia amongst men, particularly young men, because there's such
Mm.
a depiction in social media as to these guys with these big muscles and these, it's become this whole notion of the men's fitness cover. And guys are now trying to live up to an ideal that's really hard to get unless you're on steroids and
Yeah, that's
so I think
scary. And testosterone and all these things that have that have side effects.
right, and that's actually it's funny, gynecomastia surgery, which is
What's that?
the removal of excess, fat underneath the men's chests. So what happens if you take some drugs, and I think
Oh.
testosterone is one of them, several of these kind of performance enhancing things, they can cause gynecomastia, which is, um, a collection of fat cells underneath the men's pecs so that they start to look like breasts. Some of these drugs, whether you're, HRTs or some of the other ones, that's one of the things. And so you're starting to see, I think because of the prevalence of that, you're starting to see more of these surgeries, but also men are becoming much more body conscious. And so
Yeah.
it can be hereditary too. It doesn't have to be drug induced. There are men who just
Yeah.
have physically just that's the way their bodies are. And in the past, guys would have been like, well, I'm going to wear a t-shirt all the time. I'm just, that's what it's going to be. But
Yeah.
now guys are thinking, well, I don't have to live with that. Why should I live with something that makes me feel uncomfortable? Um,
Yeah, let's talk about body shape, right? We know throughout the ages that the super tight athletic body was not always the
Ideal.
ideal.
Right.
You think about Romanesque women where they were not muscular, they're very ample hips and bottom and legs, and tiny boobs.
Yeah.
Um, that was sort of big for a while. And, I was doing a Peloton the other day, and the women have gotten they're jacked now.
Yes.
Have you taken a class with a female
Yes.
instructor? Like, they look like bodybuilders,
Yeah.
and I understand the male instructors do it, and they do it by really watching their diet, probably taking testosterone,
Or creatine or something like that. Yep.
creatine,
Yep.
and a ton of protein,
Yep.
and
Ton of
lifting
protein.
super heavy. The women are doing it too, and I think it's crossed over for me. It's crossed over where it doesn't look attractive anymore. Although I really am like, well, but she's super strong. Good for her. It
Yeah.
feels though like to get that big, you must be working at it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting. Yeah. It's funny because I think if you go back to sort of talking about Rubenesque, but if you go back even further, sort of like the classic sculptures, if you think of the sculptures of Zeus and all of these guys were ripped.
Yeah,
They were big, and then what happened over the centuries was the notion of being big or corpulent was an indication of wealth, right?
right.
So if you
You
didn't
had
have to work,
plenty of good
you had plenty
food.
of
Yeah.
money and blah blah blah. So it's
Mhm.
sort of, and now it's shifted the whole way. But it's interesting too because apparently liposuction is now not just about removing fat, but it's about sculpting bodies, and guys are putting it in their abs to create these six pack
Women are
abs,
putting it
and
in their faces.
yeah. Well, I guess
And
it's better than
apparently,
fluff.
like, yeah, you inject the fat in your like upper cheeks, and then it pulls everything up, and it solves for the drooping down by the face. Like,
Mm.
I don't know, you're sort of like, so instead of having a facelift, you have fat injections in your face.
Well, like what they're selling is the notion that it's your fat, so it's probably
Right.
safer. I don't know.
Right. And
But still,
I read an article on it, like only a fraction of the fat they put in there actually sticks
sticks.
around.
Right. The rest of it
Right.
gets absorbed because
Right.
you're
Right.
putting butt fat in your face.
Right.
It's probably not the same fat. Your face is like, wait a second, I don't want butt fat here.
I can
It's really
imagine, like, I show up and you're like, "Your face looks like an ass." Well done. Well done.
look,
No, mission
look,
accomplished.
uh, so there's this other thing called lip flip. Have you heard about this?
No.
So, because obviously we're talking about Botox and how they're finding different ways to use it. But apparently one of the new things is you inject Botox into the corner of your mouth. Not only does it
Okay.
give you a slightly
Okay.
fuller appearance, but it sort of like pulls the edges of your mouth up.
Oh, I would like that. I would, yeah, you get the little frowny all the time.
Yeah. Well, they call it the slight upturn gives you RBF, resting.
Rest bitch face.
Yeah.
Wait, it reverses that, you're saying?
They say that's what it gives you because I guess it gives you this like sort of like upturned sneer kind of thing. I don't know. But
Oh,
apparently,
that's not what you want. I thought you were gonna say the opposite.
well, I don't know. I'll have to go back and reread the article, but that's what it said. But I think it depends on,
RNP face.
yes.
Resting nice person face.
But Jenny, you have
I
to be
don't
a nice person before you have that face.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's interesting. I thought you were gonna say it was this thing where they put so much filler in the lips that they, like, invert and turn out inside out. You almost see, like, the
And
inside of the lip.
that's called duck lips.
Oh, that's duck lips. Okay.
Yeah, when they put in so much that you get sort of like the underneath. Oh,
The
did you
other problem I heard, was when the top lip is supposed to be a little smaller than the bottom lip, but
Yeah,
they make it so big, it's the same size, and that's when it looks really fake.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not the
Well,
only thing that
when
makes it
your
look fake.
when your lips like sort of overlap, you know, it's, it's kind of not a good look. All right, so Jenny, if you were to, we're not saying you are, but this is a hypothetical.
All
If
right.
you were to get something plastic surgery wise, what would you get?
I don't know if would wanna go I don't know I wanna go under general anesthesia to look a certain way.
Hmm.
Um, what would I do? Well, look, if I had a lid problem, I would have no problem.
Yep.
Like, if the lids were covering my eyes, I heard insurance will even cover that if your vision is obscured, but it probably has to get pretty bad. What would I do? I don't know. Maybe my neck? Maybe the neck, because
Yeah.
there's nothing else you can do about the neck?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Um,
that's what I would do. I would do just pull the neck back a little bit. And then, yeah, if the eyelids ever got really bad, I would I would go back and do filler and the marionette lines.
well, that's not plastic surgery.
No, I know. But we're on the topic. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
have to tell you, speaking of filler, last year at the Colony Hotel. So for those of you who don't know, the Colony Hotel is a hotel in Palm Beach. And every Thursday night, they call it Gentleman's Night, which you can understand what that is. So
It was
every
fun.
it was
I
fun,
was,
right?
like,
We
one of
took
the
you.
only women at
Yes, you're one
Gentlemen's
of the
Night.
and the guys
Although
get
they were not looking at me, let's
no,
be
of course
quite
not.
honest.
And the
They were
guys get
looking at
dressed.
Talbot and
Yeah,
Bill.
the guys get dressed to the nines. It's fine, and everybody goes and has a cocktail. Last year, I was there. Bill was traveling, so I was there with another friend of mine, and this guy came in. He was probably well, it's so hard to tell. He could have been anywhere between 25 and 40 because he's obviously been
Oh.
under the knife already multiple times. So his
Yeah,
skin was like really tight. So I have no
yeah.
idea. But and that's what I'm talking about. But his behind looks like he had two
Mm-mm,
footballs stuck up
mm-mm.
there. I mean, it came out, it was basically a shelf. You could have put a drink on it. It was the most ridiculous thing. And he was wearing
Like
this
women, like the Kardashians, right?
he was wearing the
So
smallest shorts,
weird.
the tightest shorts. It was so, so weird. And so I bet my friend, I said, I'll pay you $100 if you go over there and ask him if it's real.
How about I thought you were gonna say, "I'll pay $100 if you go set your drink on it."
I should have. I should have. But he did. He went over there and said, that's quite a posterior you have. Is it real? And the guy said, yes, it's not real. There was
Oh,
no
come
way.
on. If you're gonna do that, just
Own
admit
it.
it.
Own it, right?
Yeah, just own it. Like these
He went,
like Cardi B, who's got the giant boobs and the giant ass, and she's like, "It's natural." It's like, "Really?" I
well,
don't
I
think
don't even
so.
know. How does he go to the bathroom? Because you're like 5 inches off the toilet seat.
I bet there's gonna be a custom toilet seat industry that comes out of this.
There's another gajillion dollar
Gazil
idea.
Yeah,
This is our
yeah.
third gajillion dollar idea.
It's gonna be called the Kardashian credenza.
Right. So if anybody knows anybody at Toto or Kohler or anybody,
We have an
call us.
amazing
We have a
idea.
great idea for
It
them.
is a toilet for people who have had their butts enlarged.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
Okay.
adjustable. It can sort of widen out and shut up.
Yeah.
Shut.
You need more room in the back for your badonkadonk, I think. Okay. Speaking of Gentleman's Night, can we talk about Ricky Martin?
Yeah.
Because Ricky Martin is my age. And if anybody watched Palm Royale, he did make an appearance at the Super Bowl, but he was not shirtless. He is completely tight. Like
Oh,
he's ripped,
yeah.
he's tight. I mean, his face looks like it literally has been pulled back, but he is a really good plastic surgeon
Yeah.
because
Yeah. He looks very good.
he looks great. But I mean, his face is so tight that but it looks natural. I will
Yeah.
say it looks
Yeah.
natural, but
Yeah.
there's no way a 54-year-old man does not have any wrinkles. But what is impressive to me is his body looks like he's 30.
Yeah.
And that is hard to fake. You can't like fake muscles. I mean, I'm sure they spray the heck out of him,
They
spray
do a little
tan
bit. But
him.
yeah. Yeah.
But you can take the fat out, but you need the muscles underneath where the fat was.
Well, the other thing they do, because I have a friend who's an actor, and he goes through this all the time because he's sort of that he's probably late 30s, but he's a very good-looking guy, and so he's that kind of, "We're gonna put you shirtless on the camera." And he says what they have to do is they basically have to stop drinking any water 48 hours before they
Oh,
shoot because the more they get dehydrated, the
oh,
skin gets tighter,
yeah,
and so then
interesting.
they look tighter, they look more cut because there's less water in their skin, and
Jeez.
that's that is not a good thing to do to your body necessarily.
No.
But so you have to understand, and I think that's what there have been some influencers who've started to go on to social media and say, you have to realize that even though this is a real picture, this is a picture that's been taken under proper lighting after,
Yeah.
not drinking, like not this is not an everyday look. Um,
Well, and I think the reason I brought Ricky Martin up is because he's on film, video, which so far I think is harder to doctor than a photo. We've seen now the photos literally are so easy to manipulate. I
yeah.
don't think you can trust that anybody looks the way they do in a photo anymore.
Well, of course. I mean, we talked about this earlier. The filters, filters are an easy way to sort of remove the wrinkles, smooth everything out, adjust the lighting so
Yeah.
that
But you can completely adjust the face, the body,
oh, yeah,
everything with AI, right?
it's,
Like, or
it's
I mean, used to be done manually. Used to be
right
able to do
with
it
retouching.
manually, but
Right, right, right. But
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I think right. I think that's the problem is that we're starting to look at things that are not even real. They've been
not
manipulated,
even real.
and we're
And
trying.
the videos, you watch those videos, they're always fed up to me. They'll take a star at like
Oh yes,
15 and they'll do their whole life and it looks like they're having like one walk down the street, but they age. That's so crazy.
it is. I've seen those where you have when they were here, and then their real life self comes in at this current age and hugs their baby self, their younger self. It's kind of weird, particularly when they
It's
do the ones where they've
weird.
died. Have you seen the ones where they put like wings on the
The
actors who
wings on
died?
them, yeah.
It's
They're
so
so I don't know why those are so intriguing to us. There must be something about watching a human being at different stages that we find really interesting.
I love when people does their sexiest man of the year because then they do it by decades, right? They pick whoever their favorites
Oh,
are.
they do?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then they're like, here are the guys in their 30s, here are guys in their 40s, here are guys in their 50s. So
Yeah.
you start to say, okay, I'm no longer in my 30s. How do I look vis-a-vis all the other
Compa
guys who are in their 40s
compared to my own age group.
compared to my
How about Jason Bateman on the cover of was it Esquire?
oh,
He
yeah.
he looks so great. He
Yeah.
just looks I mean, he just looks great. He's a great haircut now. Looks great with a beard. Um, I'm sure he's had work done, but it doesn't look like he's not trying to look 30.
I think that's the trick. When we decide that we're gonna get plastic surgery, you don't wanna try and look like you're 30 years younger. You wanna try and
Right.
look like you're 15 years younger or 10 years younger. Something that's a little bit more plausible, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you wanna go all the way. You wanna go back 30 years.
I don't. I don't wanna do it at all. I would like to age gracefully. I would like to be the healthiest version of who I am, a Helen Mirren,
Okay,
as
that's
it were.
the
Now,
Judi
I'll
Dench version.
probably find out that Helen Mirren has had plastic surgery, but I think if you have a very specific problem that you're trying to fix, hats off to you.
Right.
You
Well,
got one boob that's gigantic and one that's tiny, you want a boob job? All right,
that
great.
makes sense, right.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
but
Actually, go for whatever you wanna go for,
right,
but first of all, I think if you have plastic surgery, then what happens in 8 years? You're gonna have
right,
another one and another
right,
one and another one?
right, right. Well, I
Where
think that
does it end?
I think to your point, I think you have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? If you're doing it because it physically will make you feel better, you're trying to correct a problem or you're trying to repair something,
Yeah.
then that's one thing. If you've got a deviated septum and it's hard to breathe and whatever,
Yeah.
that's one thing. But if you're doing it merely for external validation, that's where you start to get into a problem. Because then you start to get in that spiral, which we were just talking about, which is, well, you do it now, and then in 5 years, you want to do it again, and 5 years, you're gonna do it again, and
Yeah.
then you end up looking like Joan Rivers.
And then she died on the table, didn't
Exactly.
she?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about judgment and plastic surgery because I find I have a lot of opinions about people who do plastic surgery.
Yeah,
And I was voicing those opinions to a friend, and she really took me to task and said, "Why do you care if someone else has plastic surgery?" And I've been thinking about that. Part of it is I wish we would all just not do it. Like, let's just all have a pact that we're all going to just
age
age
gracefully. Right,
naturally.
right,
And so that sort of bugs me that then because other people are doing it, then I'm going to look like an old hag.
right,
Um, but she's right. Like if somebody wants to do it, it's their own business, I
right.
think.
No, I think that's right. I think we are yeah, I mean, we do judge, and I think particularly when we think people have gone too far, but what is too far for us may not be too far for them. So if they're happy with what they're doing and they've got the means to do it and it's not hurting anyone else, then I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
Um,
It's hard for me though when I see like Bezos's wife.
yeah.
Like that's hard for me because okay, what I don't understand, she's like even more extreme than the Mar-a-Lago women.
Right.
I I don't understand what she or he thinks is attractive about that. Like, she looks scary to me.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's when you start to feel I guess that's when you have to like reach into your empathy jar and say, obviously there's something that this person is dealing with. There's
Right.
something in their psyche that makes them feel this is what has to be done or this is how they have to present to be accepted or
They
I think that's
must
when
like it, right? Like,
they
I
must like
think
it.
do you think it's well, it's body dysmorphia, as you said.
So I think that's probably what happens with a lot of people with plastic surgery. They if you start down that road, then you say, okay, well, I got this fixed, but I noticed that this is a little wrong. Like I've got a little extra
Yeah.
wrinkle here. So maybe if I take care of that, that'll be good. And then you get rid of that, and then you're like, oh, but this ear is lower than the other one. So if I just fix that, that'll be good. And then I think you just sort of get into a situation where you just start to see and concentrate and focus on the flaws and what needs to be quote unquote corrected.
Do you know anybody who's had a nose job? A lot of people have, but they do
I
that
do.
younger.
Yeah, in high school, I had a friend who, unfortunately had a nose that had been broken and then misshapen as she grew, and she had a deviated septum, and it looked awkward. And she had a nose job, and I
Yeah.
think it made a big difference in her life. Um,
Yeah. I think a lot of movie stars have had nose jobs. Remember, Jennifer Grey, was it?
yes,
The,
from
um
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing, and it ruined her career
Right,
because she looked different and she looked very generic, and she never recovered from that.
right, because she sort of lost the character actress look that she had. She had a very
Exactly.
distinct
Sh
look that was
Yeah,
perfect for Dirty Dancing,
yeah,
and then
and she just didn't
she
look
hom
like herself.
she
And
homogenized
it's true,
herself.
you see her and you're like, that doesn't even look like her." And a couple other stars that had so much plastic surgery, they don't look like themselves. I would say
Mickey
Meg
Rourke.
Ryan.
Oh, Meg Ryan,
Oh,
Mickey
Mickey
Rourke.
Rourke.
Renee
Yeah,
Zellweger sometimes looks like she's doesn't look
yeah,
anything like
Renee
herself.
Zellweger.
Well, now we've made it all this way. I think, we now have a plan for what we aren't going to do. We're not going to go under the knife anytime soon.
No, no. Plastic surgery,
Maybe a little filler, a
rabbit
little
hole.
Botox.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you decide.
All right, darling. Well, your coffee must be done as you're pulling your neck backwards on camera. I wish you guys could see this right now as we're wrapping up. Jenny is
They can. If they go to YouTube, they're going to see me giving myself a neck lift with my hands.
I'm not
Just
going to do
thinking
anything.
about it.
I'm just letting you know. Yeah. But anyway, well, surely your coffee is done. And
yeah, I finished my coffee. It's time to get my day going.
Yeah.
It was really fun to talk to you about plastic surgery. I will say that.
All right, Jenny, have a great day.
All right.
We'll talk soon. Love ya.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining.
See you later. So if you enjoyed listening to that, please support us by subscribing to our channel and by telling everyone you possibly know. You can email us at theunpressedpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word, the Unpressed Podcast, no spaces. You can also follow us at Instagram. Our handle is @UnpressedPodcast. Thanks so much.